Good morning from beautiful Brisbane, Australia. How are you this morning? And welcome to the Academy for Complex Trauma Recovery to Remission journey. My name's Linda. It's great to be here with you on a freezing cold Tuesday morning in spring, where we actually had a ton of rain overnight. And I love spring, but the chill factor got pretty cold for us last night. Mind you, the rest of the country would have been colder, and so I shouldn't complain. We have beautiful weather in Brisbane, Australia, so that can be your next port of call. Now, this morning, I want to talk to you about resolving disputes because it's a challenging thing to do, and it also is something that we need to learn. Good morning, girls. Welcome to class. It's great to have you here. It's so good to come in and share information with you. Now, as we go through this morning, if you have questions about resolving disputes, you can feel free to put them up, and I will definitely try to answer them as we go through to the best of my ability. Now, one of the things about resolving disputes that I've learned along the way is that we have to learn how to do it, how to go about this step-by-step procedure, especially with complex trauma, because we've never had an order for it before, generally speaking. I know we can't say that about everyone, but I know for me and those around me, it's hard because we don't know what the internal workings are of resolving a dispute. We could look at the outside and it could seem easy, but internally for us, it's a whole different kettle of fish. So when you've had a dispute with someone, sorry, I'm trying to keep warm. I've got a heater on and I'm still freezing. Not normal. So back to the drawing board. When we're trying to get to a place where we can resolve disputes, the first place that we start with is us. So remember, with complex trauma, so much, like a great percentage of what we do is looking externally to keep us safe. So now when we want to do dispute resolution, we want to be able to look internally so that we're aware if we feel unsafe or that we have emotions that we need to manage, okay? So the first thing is that we want to do, so the dispute's happened and we're not feeling good about it, but we want to ask ourselves before we go into the situation to try and resolve a dispute is, can I be the bigger person in this situation? And be honest. If the answer is no, then don't engage with the other person until your heart is ready. Otherwise, a bigger dispute comes out of what started off at one place. It'll just get bigger, escalates all the way along. So what does it mean to be the bigger person? It means that I have a bigger vision for where I want the relationship to go and end up, and it means that I'm prepared to say, right, I'm just going to lay down all the emotions. I'm not going to expect the other person to meet my needs. I'm going to be able to say, well, at this point in time, they can't meet my needs. And I'm going to say I can be the bigger person and just be in their life without having a whole bunch of expectations. We want to drop the expectations that the person is in the same mind frame or wants the same result for the relationship as you, because we don't know. And oftentimes in today's society, we haven't actually framed our relationships, aside from a marriage, that where do we want this relationship to go? Where do we see it going? What is the outcome that we desire? So I look at it this way. With my kids, who are now adults, I've had big goals for them since they were kids. So my ultimate outcome was that they would not have to go through what I've been through as kids, as with divorce, or as adults, that they would perpetuate the generations of dysfunction that have gone before us. So in order to do that, I had to have a bigger vision, and I had to be prepared to work and walk towards that bigger vision. Now, as adults, if we have a dispute, I still have to have a bigger vision in mind of where I want that relationship to go or end up or progress towards, in order that I can drop the expectations and I can be the bigger person. And being the bigger person isn't ego driven, so it's never I'm right, they're wrong. It's always about, I can let this go because my vision for this relationship is that I want, what do you want from the relationship? That's what you've got to ask yourself. And you need to be willing to state that, state what you want out of a discussion that you're going to have. So not just the bigger picture for the relationship, but you want to bring it back to, okay, if that's my bigger picture, what do I need out of the one next discussion that I want to have with that person? So you might want to say something along the lines of, I miss our relationship, or I want to build a relationship. Aim for a goal, as our brain functions really well with them. Okay? Goals and structure and order are healthy brain things to happen. Be willing to let go for a time if they don't want to take things back up, but don't put the relationship down for forever unless there's really no going back. Unless they're really toxic and really not doing any work, then don't put it down for forever. That hurts our heart too. Test the waters every now and then if it's appropriate. If they've said don't contact me, then we do have to honour that. But we also don't want them leaving our lives without an open door or the possibility of an open door in time to come. Yes, we have to have boundaries, but we want to keep it so that we have the ability to be flexible. Because remember, one of our challenges with complex trauma is that our thinking process can be inflexible. So we have to own that. We have to be willing to own that our thought process can be inflexible, in order that we can begin to put these things into place as well. Choose somewhere to meet that is neutral, or via Facebook video, so you can genuinely connect, see each other's responses. Writing a letter is also viable. So you want to think outside the box, basically, and you don't want to put yourself in a situation where you feel they've got all the power if you're going to their house. You want to keep it neutral. So far you've got your bigger picture in mind, you know what you say, you want to be the bigger person, and maybe when you get there they need to vent because they haven't done the work that you've done, and you need to be willing to be okay with that. I went through this with my father. I mean, there was a whole bunch of stuff that happened that I had no idea about. I mean, he's adamant that I knew, and, on and on it goes. But I just let it go because it's all in the past. There's nothing I can do to change it. There's nothing we can do to change somebody's mind. And I had to ask myself the question, can I be the bigger person and just let it all go? Because I can't change how somebody thinks. I can't change how they feel. And I want to try and see if we can communicate. Long story short, that one didn't work. Just two different people. But it means that I have peace now because I've tried and I've done everything I possibly can do. We want to be able to apologise from our heart. So with sincerity, I mean, you can see this in kids. If you have young kids and you say to them, I want you to apologise to your brother or sister and mean it, and then you teach them that they have to do it from their heart, then you know when they do it from their heart because they relax and they, I'm genuinely sorry. But if they don't mean it, I'm sorry, and run off. You can tell by their whole body to mean it. So you want to be able to be real and authentic and make sure your apology comes from your heart, okay? Be kind, all right? Be the kindest person you can be. I want you to remember that relationships are never about who's right or who's wrong. They're about the choice you make to be in the relationship and working through the tough times together. Because adversity together brings strength with memories forged at the face of the fire. So Josh and I, and he'll tell you, we used to go toe to toe. I'd stand there and I'd say to him, don't lie to me. I know how you're feeling, it's written all over your face. And he would just be adamant. But I kept persisting, and it's a bit different with your kids and teenagers too. But now it's like, a decade or so later, and we can laugh about it all, and we know that we'll stick by each other no matter what. And that's what I mean. We can go through these times of adversity if both of us choose. And we both kept choosing that no matter what our struggles were, we'd keep trying communicating through them. And sometimes we just don't have answers. We don't know. And we're allowed to say that we don't have answers at the moment and go away and look for different answers. Negotiate. So learn to negotiate. Learn to change up the inflexible thinking. Give a little, take a little, but communicate effectively. So do not, and I repeat, do not expect the other person to apologise, to meet your emotional needs, to fit into your box, to feel the same way or put in the same effort. All of those things have got to be put down on the table before you leave home. Because if you expect any of them, then you're not coming from a place of unconditional love. And you really need to sit back and think, can I go back into this relationship? And I'm talking about scenarios in families where these disputes kept popping up. And we have to be willing to say, I need to put all of this down, because being able to be in a relationship with this person is more important than all of the things I grew up knowing, or were expected of me. So relationships always require sacrifice. Whether we like it or not, that's what's going to happen. Okay, so we need to be clear with our boundaries, but be willing to love unconditionally too. We need to manage our emotions, so take time out if needed and recognize how you're feeling. So self-control is a must in order not to repeat previous conversations. And it's not self-control of, oh, that's happening again and I'm going to go all stiff and, it's okay. This is happening again. I had no solutions then. I don't have one now. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and find out a different solution and be willing to vocalize that as well, that you want to go and research and find out a different solution. And that way it can be a dynamic, progressive relationship where both of you are working towards a mutual outcome. Okay, I hope this helps. I do have a sheet and I will put it in the comments for you down on the Facebook page, and you are more than welcome to print it out and take some time to make notes about where you want to go and where you're headed with the relationship that you're thinking about. Okay, thanks for joining in this morning, girls. It was great to see you all, and I will see you again tomorrow. Bye for now.